What's going on, everybody, and welcome into episode number 3 of the Parlay Prince podcast. I got a very exciting episode for you guys today. I'm going to be joined by one of my good friends, Shane REILAND, and we're going to go over the NFL card as well as the NCAA card this weekend. We're going to combine the Prince's Pick'em episode and the episode that runs every Wednesday on here. It's going to be a great video. I'm going to be joined by my friend Shane, who is an avid football bettor as well, and we are going to discuss the card. Since I'm down here in Florida, he's up in Pennsylvania, we're going to have to do this over Zoom. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, turn post notifications on, and yeah, let's keep going. Road to 1,000. Let's get it. Welcome in, Shugs. Thanks for joining me. We're going to hop right into the action.
Sounds
First
great.
up, we got Iowa, Wisconsin. Iowa is, last time I checked here, what are they, 3.5-point dogs?
Yes.
Basically in this game, I think Iowa, that was not them against Purdue. They were coming off a big win. I don't think Wisconsin's very good. I believe they're like 1-5 against the spread, something like that. They're just not cutting it. They covered last week, but they just don't have enough offense. And Iowa's a better team than them. I'll take Iowa plus points anytime. Give me Iowa plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Camp Randall's going to be crazy, but Iowa's 5-2 against the spread this year. I think they're the better team, like you said, so I'll take Iowa on the points as well.
Yeah. Next up, arguably the game of the week, Sparty against Michigan in East Lansing. I'm going with the underdog this one. I think Michigan State plus 4.5 is a strong play. And I think Michigan, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong, but Michigan State's been doubted by Vegas all year long. They're 6-1 against the spread, and they're 7-0 straight up. I'm taking Sparty at home plus the points, possibly a little bit on the money line as well.
Yeah, I think this game comes down to whoever runs the ball best. And, MSU has Kenneth Walker, who's second in the nation in rush yards. So I'm going to be taking the home underdog here as well at plus 4.5.
Next up, we have Iowa State at West Virginia. They're 7-point favorites. This line opened up, I believe, at 6.5. Now it's up to 7. West Virginia, they screwed me over last week with TCU. But Iowa State, they're starting to come on. They had a big win. Campbell's not going to allow them to have like a letdown game, kind of like an Iowa would. So I'm going with Iowa State minus 7, but this is one of these games that I'm not touching.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the lines here, but I think Iowa State should have some nice momentum after that win against OK State. WVU's been pretty mediocre this year, but they haven't been terrible at home though. So I'm going to take another home dog here and do WVU plus 7.
Now we're staying in the Big 12. We are doing Texas Tech at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 20-point favorites now. Texas Tech's coach was fired today. This is one of my locks of the week. I'm not to foreshadow anything, but this is my lock of the week. I like Oklahoma minus 20 in this game.
I'm going to go opposite here. I think, Oklahoma's been playing really well with Caleb Williams. However, I saw the Oklahoma Sooners are 1-4 against the spread this season when playing as 17.5 favorites or more. So I'm going to be taking Texas Tech here plus 20.
See, here's where I defer on that, is that they're at home and also they're a different team under Caleb Williams. So I think Oklahoma breaks out in this game. Texas Tech, last time they played a really good team on the road, it was Texas, and they lost 70-35. I don't see them stopping Oklahoma. I don't think Kansas played overly well in that game. Oklahoma just kind of didn't play good at all. They were at a 12 o'clock
Right.
kick against Kansas as 38.5-point favorites. It's hard for 19, 20, 21-year-olds to really get up to play Kansas. So I'm taking Oklahoma there. Next up, we have Ohio State minus 17.5 at home against Penn State. What do you think in this game? Because a few weeks ago, this was like one of the games of the year. Now, not so much. Your thoughts?
Well, Ohio State's been running through their opponents, where Penn State, they're coming off back-to-back losses, extremely disappointing loss against a terrible Illinois team. I'm going to take Ohio State here minus 19.5, and I think they win by 3+ touchdowns pretty easily, honestly.
See, I think that's a very high number to play Penn State. Seriously, I mean, these teams usually keep it close when they play each other. But how can you bet against the Buckeyes, and how can you put any money on Penn State? You know what I mean? Like, how could you do that?
Right.
Especially after losing to Illinois. I'm going with Ohio State in this game. I think they win 48-26. They're going to win by 20+. I think they cover. SMU at Houston. SMU is +1. This is pretty much a pick 'em. This is very, very big when it comes to who's going to be that team that could possibly beat Cincinnati. If SMU does it, they're undefeated, and they beat Cincinnati. Do we start talking about SMU in the playoff? You know what I mean? Like, there's a serious argument for that, because they play at Cincinnati. If they win this game, they're going to play Cincinnati twice. So I'm going with SMU in this game. I really, really like SMU. And I also like the over in this game of 62.5. I thought this number was very good, and it said SMU, their total has gone over in 4 of their last 5 games as a dog, meaning the teams that they're playing against are just more superior than, like, they can play, they can throw the ball around the field,
Right.
And SMU's not going to be able to stop it. But it also says that SMU scores a lot. I think a good same game parlay would possibly be the over in this game, as well as SMU's money line. What do you think?
So none of these teams have played like any real competition this year. Houston's coming off an overtime game against East Carolina, and earlier this season they lost to Texas Tech. SMU, on the other hand, they're undefeated, but they've kept it close with Louisiana Tech, TCU, Navy. So this game is tough to pick a side, but I'm gonna go with the ranked dog here with the free point.
It's up to 3.
The free point.
Oh, yeah. No, I would take the free point. Now we're on to Texas and Baylor. But by the way, SMU Houston is going to be a very good game, very good watch. Texas at Baylor. Right now it's 2 points, I believe, 2.5.
Yeah.
I like Texas here. I do. I just think that Texas is gonna bounce back. I do not see them going 4-4 this year. I just don't. Baylor's a good team, but these games are toss-ups. I'm taking Texas, but I love the over in this game, 61.5. I think 61.5 is very, very low for a Big 12 game. This is going to be a shootout. So give me Texas.
This should be another good matchup.
As well, the over in this game as well.
So Texas has been up and down all year long. Baylor has played, pretty well all year long, except for their loss against Oklahoma State, I believe.
Yeah.
I like Baylor here at home -2, and this is actually going to be one of my plays later on as well.
I've won money off Baylor this year, but I don't think their win has as much, their one loss has as much validity now since Oklahoma State lost because they couldn't move the ball against them. I like Texas, but we'll see. It's going to be a good one. Ole Miss at Auburn. The Rebels are catching a point.
I believe it's 2.5 now,
Two and a
actually.
half, 2.5. Yeah, I put these lines in last night. So, but no, I think Ole Miss is the play here for sure. I also like the over in this game as well. I just think this is going to be another shootout. Auburn, they really haven't beaten anybody. I mean, yeah, they won at LSU, at Arkansas, but how good are those teams? I mean, Ole Miss isn't a bad team. I mean, they score a lot of points. Like they can score. They did have a letdown game at Alabama, but I think they're still a very good SEC team. I'm going with Ole Miss +1 here. I think there's or +2.5, whatever. I would play it if they were -1 to -2. I think they went outright.
Yeah, so I really like the over in this game as well. However, Ole Miss is 2-8-2 against the spread in the last 12 games against Auburn. So I'm gonna lean Auburn here -2.5, but it's not a very confident play of mine.
See, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't usually like those numbers because all it does is say, oh, like, what has it been? Well, Lane Kiffin is changing things with Ole Miss. I really like Ole Miss in this game. I really do. I think they went outright. But, and again, I mean, we have a stacked card this weekend of just very good matchups between a lot of evenly ranked teams. It's going to be fun. And last but not least, Georgia versus Florida in Jacksonville, neutral site. Big rivalry game. -14 Georgia. What do you like, Shugs?
So Georgia is allowing just 6.6 points per game this year.
I'm surprised it's that high. Yeah, seriously, they just don't give up any points.
They've won every match by 17 plus, except their week 1 opener against Clemson. So I think Florida here, they would need to play very similar to how they played Alabama, but I don't see that. I'm going to take Georgia -14 here.
Yeah, I'm laying the chalk with Georgia. I just how could you bet against them? You know what I mean? Like, how could you bet against them? Yeah, I mean that's all you got to say. I mean, if I'm picking a game here, I'm not picking Florida. I mean, Georgia's going to go undefeated, and they're going to get to the SEC title game, and I mean they're probably going to play Alabama, and that's going to be the matchup of the year. So, yeah. So we're going to transition over to NFL now. There's a lot of good games this weekend. Well, the card's all right. Thursday night's the best game. So we're going to keep that one last. We're going to go backwards. Dallas -1 at Minnesota. Very, very, very low line here.
Very -2.5 now. -2.5. Yep.
Even still, I think that's a very low number. I like Dallas. Right. I like Dallas to win by. I think Dallas wins like 34-27, something like that.
So. Yeah. It pains me to say it, but Dallas has been really impressive this year.
Their offense is. What can you do?
Their offense is living up to expectations, and their defense is definitely outperforming. This one should be a fun match to watch, I think, but I'm going to take Dallas here -2.5.
Let's see. Yeah, no, I think that's a bargain if you're taking Dallas there. I mean, it really is a bargain. I don't think Minnesota's that good. And I mean, Dallas is looking good. -2.5, easy. Then we're at the Washington football team at the Broncos. Washington right now is catching 3 points with the lean towards Denver -3. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, this is a tough game to pick, honestly. Neither team has impressed me whatsoever this year. The Broncos came out
Yeah,
hot and then they just
yeah.
completely the just been putting up duds. But I think this game could be decided by a field goal, so I'll take Washington +3 here.
I'm gonna go with Washington as well. I wouldn't bet this game.
No.
These teams are dog water. Denver -3. I can't do that. I can't. I'm going to take the dog in this situation anytime because neither of these teams deserve to be favorites. I'm going with the football team +3.
I kind of like the under for this game as well. I'm not sure what it is, but I just don't see
43 and
many
a
points
half.
being scored here.
43 and a half. Yeah, I don't see it either. I like the under. That'll probably end around 42 at the end of the week by kickoff. Next we have New England +5.5 at the Chargers. What do you like in that one?
So New England's coming off a blowout win, and the Chargers are coming off a blowout loss, and then they also had their bye last week.
Yeah.
So it's set up for a New England cover, but I think that Justin Herbert rebounds here, and I think he covers the 5.5.
I think this would be a good bet if you did like New England +11.5, something like that, and teased it. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with New England +5.5. I like that. I think they come back and after a big win, they're gonna start rolling. I think they could possibly win outright in this game. I like New England.
Mac Jones has been playing well, so that should be a good match.
Yeah. Next up, we weren't gonna do this, but shout out Zach Rankin. San Francisco 49ers, -3.5 in Chicago. This is another one of these. Matt Nagy just got COVID. I wouldn't throw a dollar on this game, but if I had to say, I would go with the Bears +3.5. We don't have to waste too much time on this one.
I don't know. I mean, the Bears have been pretty bad. 49ers haven't impressed me either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd take 49ers -3.5, I guess.
The over-under for this game is 39.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. Now we're on to Pittsburgh +3.5 at the Dog Pound in Cleveland. What do you got?
So it looks like Nick Chubb will be back this week, which definitely helps Cleveland a little bit, but Baker's status is still in the air. So if Baker plays, I'm going to roll with the Browns spread here. But if he doesn't play, I'm going to be taking the Pittsburgh spread. But this is going to be more of a game time pick, if anything, because I'm not doing anything till I hear about Baker's status.
I don't care if Baker plays or not. I like Pittsburgh money line. I really do. I think Cleveland, they have not impressed me even when Baker Mayfield was on the field. Pittsburgh revenge game, Big Ben. How could you not go against Big Ben here? How could you go against him rather? I like Pittsburgh +3 money line. You take it. They're going to win outright. That's one of my dogs of the week, and I'll be talking about them a little more coming up. Next, we're going to my team, Philly at Detroit. Philly is laying 3 points in this game. Real quick, this is going to be a very boring watch. I don't recommend anybody watching this game for real. I'm going Detroit +3. I think Detroit, they're another dog this week that I could really see winning, especially coming off that inspiring loss. Dan Campbell's got those guys ready to play. He got them ready to play last week, and they almost beat one of the best teams in the league. Jared Goff looked better. DeAndre Swift, I've been saying it. I think he's the most underrated offensive weapon in the NFL. He went off on Sunday. I like Detroit +3, and I like a player prop as well. I like DeAndre Swift, anytime touchdown score.
Yeah, the Lions have been in close games all year. They're still looking for their first win, and I think Dan Campbell gets that this week. Actually, I like them outright, so I'm definitely going to take the free field goal with them.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and the money's even leaning towards Philly, so you might even be able to catch 3.5 as the week progresses. You know what I mean?
Right.
Next up, we are going to Carolina and Atlanta. I figured we might as well just throw this game in as well. I like Atlanta -2.5 in this one. The Panthers are in a free fall. You see what type of team they are without Christian McCaffrey. Atlanta hasn't played bad. To their credit, they have not played bad. I mean, they got smoked by Philly in the opener. Everybody wrote them off, but they haven't played bad recently. I like Atlanta -2.5, and that's one of my stronger plays this week in NFL.
Yeah, I agree. The Falcons have been trending up, and the Panthers have been trending down. I really like the Falcons -2.5 here, honestly.
Most definitely. Now we got a big favorite in this game in Buffalo. Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo is giving 13.5 in this one, with the money leaning towards Buffalo. Yeah, I'm going with the Bills. I think Miami's really bad. I just really do. I don't think they're very good at all. Give me Buffalo and the points, especially coming off a loss. Like, they're going to be ready to go, and a bye as well. So, I mean, they're hungry. I think you could alt spread this and put it to 24 and it would still hit. Give me Buffalo and the points.
Yeah, the Bills are coming off that disappointing loss, but I like them to bounce back here against Miami, who's just been, they've been atrocious.
Yeah, most definitely.
I think I like the Bills 2 touchdowns plus in this one.
Yeah, this one could be out of hand quick. Like, I could see them doing the same thing that they did last time to Miami, but worse. Really.
Right.
Now we're at last game in NFL, Green Bay +5.5 at Arizona. And Shogs, I mean, let's say it. This is so far the game of the year. I mean, it really is. This is a huge game for both teams. The winner of this has basically control of the 1 seed in the NFC. I'm taking Green Bay +5.5. I think this is a lock, and I think it's a lock in their money line. I'm going with Green Bay money line and +5.5.
Yes, the only thing is Devontae Adams may be out this week with COVID, but he still has a chance to test negative twice and then play Thursday night. I've really liked watching the Cardinals play this year. They've been fun to watch. They've been clicking on all cylinders. I think the Cardinals moved to 8-0 here, but I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers +5.5 any day of the week. You give that to me. So
yeah, no, I mean, that's that's the thing. Like, I mean, if it's any other team, I could see it. It's in Arizona, but 5.5 points you're giving to Aaron Rodgers, like, who isn't going to take that?
right.
I look at my book even has it up to 6 now. Buy the extra point if you're feeling cautious and take Aaron Rodgers as a 7-point dog. I mean, Green Bay, I think, is a lock. I really do. You don't see Aaron Rodgers getting this money all the time. You just really don't.
And he always makes it work even without weapons. So
I
like him +5.5 here.
And I mean, like, here's the thing. Arizona, they've looked good, but they've been playing teams right now recently that haven't really been the greatest. So, yeah, they beat up on the Rams. I will give them that. But, I mean, they didn't really look the greatest against Houston. Against Cleveland, they beat them really good. But, I mean, in that game, they had so many injuries, Cleveland. So I like Green Bay here. I really do. I think this is a lock. So I'm taking Green Bay. And now we are going to transition over to our weekend plays. We have 3 of them, Shugs, and we're also going to drop a parlay. The Prince's parlay of the weekend will be coming up after Shugs' picks. Shugs, 3 picks that you absolutely love. And if you want to parlay as well, let me know.
Yeah, I will be including a parlay, but my 3 plays of the weekend are going to be OSU minus 19.5, Georgia minus 14,
All right.
and Chargers minus 5.5. I like the Chargers to bounce back here and win pretty big. My parlay of the weekend is going to be Notre Dame money line against UNC and Baylor money line, who, I think they beat Texas. So those are my plays.
All right, so I'm going first. My first lock is Oklahoma minus 20. I think they win this game pretty handedly, and I'll be taking them. Next, I'm going with SMU over 62.5. I think this is another lock that I really like. I really like this, but I'm going to also add in Utah State minus 5.5. They're playing Hawaii. Rainbow Warriors are just different away from the island where I'm at right now. I'm just kidding. I'm not in Hawaii, but I really like Utah State minus 5.5. So Oklahoma minus 20, SMU over 62.5, Utah State minus 5.5. And if we're doing NFL, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh plus 3.5, 3 money line. Take it. They're going to win. And then lock of the week, lock of the century, my Prince's parlay of the weekend, Oklahoma money line, Ohio State money line, and Michigan State plus 7. It's a minus 110 odds. I absolutely love this play. I think this is for sure going to cash. And that's my that's Prince's parlay of the weekend. Shugs, in just closing here, where do you see after this weekend, who is your top 4 in college football? What do you see? Do you think there's going to be any big upsets this week? And where are you going from here?
I don't see any big upsets. I think we got those last week. But I think it's going to be Georgia, Alabama, OSU, and Oklahoma.
Yeah, same. I think Ohio State should be over Cincinnati. I just really do. And I mean, maybe you could say, oh yeah, you're not, backing the Cincinnati, the good story. Ohio State is 10 times better than Cincinnati. That's what the playoff's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the 4 best teams, not some feel-good story because they beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is the worst they've been in years. They barely beat an Indiana team that they struggled with through the first half. That same Indiana team last week lost by 40 to Ohio State. I don't like Cincinnati. I really don't. I think Cincinnati's overrated. I really do. So next week, I think it's the same top 4. I think all of them win. So I appreciate you coming on today. We had a lot of good picks. I think this is a very exciting week of football, college that is. NFL, not so much. There's a lot of big favorites.
Very exciting week of sports in general. Yeah, it's a very exciting week of sports in general. We've got the World Series and NBA's in full swing and NHL. So, yeah, it should be a good week.
This is the best time of year. 2 weeks towards action. What can I say? The best time of year. All right, Shugs, thank you for stopping by. This wraps up episode number 3. We will see you next Wednesday. Take care. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's it.